Hello, everyone. This is Aneri Bellamy, your coaches counselor and impact leader. Thank you so much for joining us again today on another episode of Coaches Making Impact. I tell you, season two is going to be awesome. I've had maybe 3 or 4 interviews for season two so far, and everybody on has been great. And Mr. Elliott Katz is no different. I love his passion for what he does, and I really appreciate you being with us today. Now, I didn't ask you before we got online, so I'm going to ask you now. During the interview, how would you like to be addressed?
Elliot, that's fine.
Elliot. Okay, awesome. So, Elliot, how are you today?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you for having me on.
For taking the time to be on now. Let's go right into our first question because I'm sure everybody wants to know who is Elliot, right? So tell us, who are you purposed to serve?
Well, I'm on a mission, and my mission is to change the men of the world. So all men, or all the men that need this kind of coaching and insights, it's today's men are so many of them are confused about what it means to be a man in a relationship with a woman. They've heard all these confusing ideas. They hear men being described as toxic, controlling, abusive, misogynist. And the man says, I don't want to be that. I want to be a good husband and good father. I want to have a good family and a good marriage. But they're kind of lost. They don't know, well, I know what I don't want to be, but I don't know what I should be. And so they just think, well, I'll just step back. I'll let my wife run everything. I'll let her make all the decisions. And that way she can't accuse me of being controlling. And because I don't want to be controlling, I want to be a good, nice husband, and they don't understand why it's not working, why their wives or the girlfriends are just frustrated with them, and they think, well, I'm trying so hard, and they think, well, if I could just figure out what I need to do for her, I'll do it because I want her to be happy, and she just gets more and more fed up with him. And I've met so many men who are divorced, who are on the verge of divorce, and they think, well, I was a good guy. I don't understand why she didn't appreciate what a good guy I was. So those are the men I'm trying to reach. I'm particularly, especially want to reach them before they get divorced so they can say, hey, you make these changes in your life, and things will turn around in your marriage because this is what your wife really wants.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So, that is a huge pill to swallow, right? That's a big purpose in life. So, it has to be something about your story that made that your purpose. And we'd love to hear it. What is it about your story that made this your life's purpose?
Well, that was my similar journey. I was married for 10 years, then I got divorced. And like a lot of people, I blamed the other person. I thought, I was a good husband and a good father. What happened? She didn't appreciate what a good guy I was. And so then I started thinking, well, I can't just blame. I need to learn, what did I need to know? What should I have known during the marriage that would have changed things? So first thing I did, I started talking to other men. And the more I talked to other men, the more I realized a lot of us are confused. They didn't have any answers. I started reading books on relationships. They really didn't answer my questions. And it was only when I turned to the teachings and the wisdom that for generations, for hundreds of years, that fathers and other older male role models used to teach younger men. There's a lot of writings from men about what does it mean to be a man. I was just blown away because it really answered my questions, and it coincided with what I heard women complain is lacking in men today. They don't show their share of leadership. They don't seem to be able to make a decision, and they don't take responsibility. And as I tell men, it starts on the first date. If you ask a woman out, you say, "Would you like to go out Saturday night?" And she says, "Well, yes. What do you have in mind?" And you say, "I don't know," because you want her to make the plans. You already have a big strike against you because you may think, I'm showing her I'm a nice, non-controlling guy, and she looks at it like, this guy can't even choose a place to go for a cup of coffee. How's he going to handle the challenges that come with marriage and family life? He's got to step up to the plate. So that's what I'm trying to teach men. That was my own experience. I can tell you, date one woman I went dated with a while ago. She said to me, "You date well. What are you doing?" And I said, "Are you making fun of me?" She said, "No, you're a good dater. What are you doing?" I said, "I'll tell you what I'm doing. I'm a man with a plan. When I ask you out, I don't say, 'What do you want to do?' I say, 'Here's what I thought we would both enjoy doing. It starts at 8 o'clock. I'll come get you at 7 o'clock.' I'm a man with a plan." And it doesn't mean if she has a plan, there's something she would like to do more, we could do that. That's not a problem. but I don't come like empty handed, like without a clue. And that, because that's how she sees you. So it is, like I say, it was my own experience, and I learned these things that changed my life, and I want to change the lives of other men. And the interesting thing is, with my book that I wrote, it's been translated in 24 languages around the world, and it really hit home to me that it's not just me and my friends. It's like men all over, like they're all like struggling, like because men aren't taught this. I mean, men, it doesn't come naturally to them. They have to be taught it. They have to learn it by watching other men, and that's what young men do. They watch other men to see, well, what does a man do? So with this book, I put together these insights and wisdom so other men can learn them. And the fact that it's been translated in 24 languages really shows that all over the world, men need to learn this. If they didn't have a father teach it to them, they need to learn it.
I absolutely love it. So now we get to do the golden question. And that is, if a man that was having the issues or the problems that you helped them solve crossed your path, right? And it was your one and only opportunity to make an impact on his life, what would you say to him?
Well, that's a great question because I've had that situation. I remember one fellow was talking, just sort of in a group, and he's in the process of getting divorced, and I remember he said that his wife told him that she doesn't like that. He always talks about his feelings, and I said, well, other women will want me to talk about it, my feelings. I said, well, I tried to explain to like the stuff you've heard. You always talk about your feelings, occasionally, not all the time. But I said, I've written this book, and I'd like to, share it with you. I'd like to share with you. And he said, well, I've got all these divorce papers to read. And I realized I didn't say, hey, you know what? I could teach you things that can make a big difference, that could turn things around. And I should have said it to him then. And so really now, when I'm in that situation, I have been in that situation subsequently. I say to them, like this, just the other day, this friend of mine was telling, he's got a friend, his wife, he just does whatever his wife tells him to do. He's miserable. His wife just, doesn't keep her word about anything. And like, he's just like, he's a victim. He's like, nothing he can do about it. So I said, look, this is a common situation. Let's get together with him and let's talk to him because he can turn things around by changing his own way of doing things. The mistake that men make, and I assume women make the same mistake, is we're waiting for the other person to change. Do you think the only solution is for the other person to change? Well, you can wait a long time. You can wait decades. You've got to change yourself. So that's what I do now. So, I can teach you things. If you don't like what I say, you can tell me I'm full of it. You don't have to listen to me, but I've learned some things that made a big difference in my life, and I want to share it with you. So let's get together. Let's go for a cup of coffee. Let's do it. And really, and since I started doing it, really, it's I've made some big changes in people's lives. And I mean, these are things that I learned. I didn't make them up, and just it's like I said, just things men were not taught. So I said, look, you need to learn these things. Anyway, things are a lot better now. When I tell them that, take a chance, meet with me for half an hour, and that's what I do.
Absolutely love it. So I know that there's going to be a man that's going to want to continue the conversation with you, right? So how does he do that? Or how does he get his hands on a copy of your book? Better yet, how does a woman who's like, yeah, my husband or my boyfriend needs that book,
Yeah.
get their hands on a copy of the book and
Okay.
continue to
So the
chat with
book
you?
is the book is Being the Strong Man a Woman Wants: Timeless Wisdom on Being a Man. It's available on Amazon as a paperback and on Amazon Kindle, Kobo, and Apple Books as an ebook. And you can contact me through my website, which is www.elliottKatz.com. And Elliott is ELLIOTT, and you can email me at Elliott R. Katz, ELLIOTT at AOL.com. Yeah, same thing to be in touch with me. And also, I put out a 30-point action plan to how to implement, like questions to ask yourself to develop a plan to actually implement these ideas. So people contact me, I'm happy to send it to them, for free. And, uh, you could send me your comments or you have any questions. Really, it's the fantastic thing about the internet is, it's all over the world. I just got an email from somebody in Australia who saw me, and like it's very interesting. He says, I heard you, but my situation is unique. And he tells me the same story everybody else tells me, right? So everybody thinks their situation is unique,
Right.
but they really need to learn these things. So please contact me, and if you had a chance to read the book, it's a lot cheaper than getting a divorce.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for your time on today. And thank you for being a coach that's making impact in the lives of men and the lives of relationships, actually, right? Because you fix one person, it helps fix the relationship as a whole. So I definitely appreciate your time with us today.
Okay, thank you, Neri. Thank you for having me.